So Donald Trump is apparently noticing that Bernie Sanders is rising in the polls and has a ton of support behind him. So as I'm going to get to, Donald Trump brought up Bernie Sanders at least a couple of times during his most recent rally. But first, let me show you this tweet from Bernie where it screenshotted the their email. So the email from the Trump administration. So Bernie Sanders tweets out here, Donald Trump is attacking us because he knows we will beat him in the general election. So Greg Krieg, who is of CNN, took a couple screenshots here of the Trump campaign and them attacking Bernie Sanders. So this first one, dangerous. Bernie Sanders can't be trusted to defend American lives. Sanders opposed taking top terrorist Soleimani off the battlefield while repeating Iranian and Russian propaganda. This is so absurd. The funny thing is, though, I don't even think this works on people. Like, this may rile his own base, but you're not going to flip like a Democratic voter into thinking, oh, wow, well, I was going to be for Bernie Sanders, but this Donald Trump email, I'm now convinced that Bernie Sanders is he's pro-terrorist and he's definitely part of Russian propaganda. Unbelievable. This next one, fact: Bernie Sanders is a wealthy fossil fuel guzzling millionaire. Just like the wealthy Hollywood elite, Bernie Sanders lectures Americans how to live their lives while doing the exact opposite. Except, his 40-year fighting for policies that Donald Trump is not, policies that will actually lift people up, and policies that will tax the wealthy, wealth tax. Like, Jesus. It's, again, fact-free zone. As I was talking about earlier in a different segment, FDR had a lot more money in terms of his wealth compared to the rest of society, and fought for people. So it's not about your wealth. It's about who you're actually fighting for. It's about your record. It's about what you've done. Bernie has a 40-year record of fighting for people. Like, it doesn't, like, these points that they're trying to make, this actually shows you they really have nothing. Like, when it comes to Joe Biden, you can actually make some points that would suppress the Democratic base at least. Say, oh, Joe Biden's attachment to Wall Street, the crime bill, his vote for the war in Iraq. But with Bernie Sanders, you really got to stretch or you got to reach because there's nothing there to work with. But let me show you what Donald Trump said at the rally. Here's the first clip.
Bernie Sanders, crazy Bernie, has condemned the U.S. military strike on Soleimani, the world's top terrorist. Think of it, the world's top terrorist. And we're having people like Nancy Pelosi. It's a real genius. Do you believe that one? Nancy, nervous Nancy. But here's the guy who slaughtered and butchered civilians all over, and military, whoever was in his way. And we have Bernie and Nancy Pelosi, we have them all. They're all trying to say, how dare you take him out that way? You should get permission from Congress. You should come in and tell us what you want to do. You should come in and tell us so that we can call up the fake news that's back there and we can leak it.
It's all, God. He's just hitting all the same beats. The fake news. What did he call Nancy? Nervous Nancy. That's actually a good one, Nervous Nancy. But you can see here why Trump is able to maintain a base. Because it's the performance. Trump is essentially a right-wing comedian. That's who he is. It's all about performance. That's why I showed you in that other segment, the clip earlier of the Trump supporter that couldn't name anything Trump did that helped the country. Because these people don't support him because of his policies or his politics. They support him because he's a stand-up comedian for the right wing. That's why they support him. It's all performance. Let me show you this other video here where he also brings up Bernie Sanders.
But the Democrats are taking their cues from socialist Bernie Sanders and that group. Omar, AOC, Tlaib, isn't she a nice woman? Tlaib. Tlaib. Boy, what a group. But they're the leaders of the party. They're really, in my opinion, the leaders. That's what happened. That's how they got into this impeachment hoax. The leaders of the party are this AOC, Tlaib, and Omar. And Pelosi meets them and she shakes and quivers and she's very... But you know who the leader of your party is? All of you. You're the leader of your party.
Unbelievable.
But the Democrats are pushing a socialist takeover of health care that would strip 180 million Americans of their private insurance plans and massively raise taxes on the middle class. A lot of you have private insurance plans that you love. They're going to take them away from you. But the Democrats...
All right. It's funny there. Near the end, there's not much of a reaction to the private healthcare being taken away. People don't like insurance companies. This idea that people love their insurance company doesn't even work on the MAGA crowd. And your taxes would only go up, but you would no longer have healthcare costs through private insurance. No more copays, no more out-of-pocket expenses. You would be paying less through your taxes, much less through your taxes under a Medicare for All system than you do to a private insurance company. Not to mention, not worrying about paperwork at all, because it's all taken care of. It's a single payer system. You don't take care of all the billing. None of that's on you. So this huge weight is taken off your shoulders. You also aren't stuck to your employer because of healthcare. You can change jobs. You can go back to school, start a business, hire people. They have healthcare because it's a single payer system. You're not giving them healthcare. They have it already. I mean, endless benefits to a single payer system. And it seems even some of the MAGA crowd is maybe aware of that. But it's just, again, it's all performance. Tlaib, Omar. Like, it's just, he's a character. This is why he still has a base, because he's a character. He's a horrible person, the worst president in the history of the country, but he's a character. So he's able to maintain a base because he has this right-wing comedian air about him. But I want to share this story this is actually from September, but it applies here, from the Daily Beast. Trump privately tells confidants that socialism won't be so easy to beat in 2020. The president is not totally sold on the attack line that he and his team have made so central to their campaign. So basically, actually, let me read a bit of this here. As he campaigns for re-election, Donald Trump and his team have made trashing the socialist or communist in the 2020 Democratic presidential field a cornerstone of their messaging. In private, however, the president often strikes a different, more nuanced tone, one driven by a concern that socialism, at least as defined by the Democrats, may actually sell politically. This year, Trump has repeatedly told friends and donors that running against socialism in a general election may not be so easy because of its populist draw, according to 4 Republicans and sources close to Trump who've heard him say this over the past several months. According to the person who was in the room, Trump told donors at a recent private event that though a lot of people think it'll be easy to beat in 2020, the truth is it might not be so easy. The president, according to the source, said that, quote, "You can have someone who loves Trump, but many people love free stuff too." He added that if candidates tell Americans, especially young voters, that they're going to cancel their debt, that's a tough one to run against. Damn right. That's actually a point I need to make more often in my videos. Bernie Sanders running on canceling student debt and canceling a lot of medical debt as well. So, absolutely. I mean, it shows you he's at least aware of this. And there is no answer for that. Again, which is why Bernie is really the only candidate that you want going up against Donald Trump, because he can't make these points. I mean, Joe Biden, again, will suppress the vote. He won't be able to get out the young people. He won't be able to get out the typical non-voter. He'll suppress the votes, suppress the base like Hillary Clinton did in 2016. You're not going to win by trying to reach out to conservative voters. You win by bringing out people that didn't vote last time. Bernie Sanders does that, and even Trump appears to be aware of that.